Shalom. This is Truth is Everlasting, Lion's Den. I am Yahweh Sap. I camp out with Lion Den, Hawan Ben Joshua in Jacksonville, Florida. But first, I like to give a prayer to the Father, to the Son, to the elders, to the archons, and to the women and children. Kal Halayim La Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Ha Rokah Kodash, Mahamah. In the name of Yahweh Shai, in spirit and holy and truth, double honors to the 144,000 chosen elect, double honors to the elders of GMS, double honors to my elder Hawam, salutation to the archons who are on the four corners of the earth, and to the women and children, Shalom. Well, I did a lesson last night about the weather control, right? Because we have to keep an eye on that. Well, we have a website, geoengineeringwatch.org. I think it's for 20 years. He's been watching and documenting what they've been spraying in the air. It says here the Deming Full-Length Climate Engineering Documentary. This is a documentary from 2021. I'm going to play it, but the title of this lesson is called Slakia. This shall be the portion of their cup. Here we go.
We know that climate engineering was deployed immediately after World War II, so testing was absolutely ongoing. Clearly, these bombers were used for beta testing. Film footage proves it.
Weather was a weapon used over Vietnam. Would you expect that to be then deleted from the availability? No. To continue to expand the scientific aspects of it, to have it available in your portfolio of weapons would be a natural process. Therefore, should you expect that it is available on demand to have the ability to modify weather? Absolutely, within this country and others.
Climate engineering is the crown jewel of the military-industrial complex. Climate engineering has been used to destabilize and topple nations all over the globe, facilitating military occupations by hostile countries like the US. We know that some of these countries are having their precipitation cut off because they have stated so on the floor of the UN, like the president of Iran stating emphatically that NATO weather modification programs were cutting off the precipitation to Iran, but US media never covered it.
We have an economic model operating globally, which is operating based on covert force. And I have very serious questions after watching the financial patterns as to whether that financial force or that force includes weather warfare.
People were coming to me, telling me about this. So because of that, I went to the government in Ottawa under Freedom of Information. There was a 40-page report, of which half the pages were completely blank, and the other half had a lot of blank outs. But there was sufficient information to tell me that, yeah, they're aware. They call it geoengineering.
One of the big problems is that when we find some new technology, we get all excited by it, by the potential benefits of that technology, and often implement it and use the technology before we have any idea of the negative effects.
Shouldn't it be considered that every breath we take is laden with highly toxic particles that are wreaking havoc in our own bodies? Particles that aren't being reported by any air quality testing systems. Any official air quality testing are looking for PM10 or PM2.5, 2.5 microns at best. The climate engineering nanoparticulates are exponentially smaller. They go virtually unreported.
These nanomaterials generate reactive oxygen species in biological materials, damage tissue, lead to advanced aging, cause cancer, causative agents of dementia. So, yeah, we might think that we're doing something positive for humanity to save our species, but we're also poisoning ourselves.
Eventually, with the team that we formed at geoengineeringwatch.org, we were able to acquire a NOAA flying lab. We were able to test at altitude to confirm the elements that were showing up at the surface.
Our intention was to do a point-to-point sampling mission. We could see these obvious patterns that were being laid out in the sky. We were really thankful for the opportunity to be able to get up to altitude. And on the return mission, we noticed that that cloud layer had descended. And we sampled below the cloud layer, we sampled through that confluent layer and above it.
We found exactly the same elements listed in climate engineering patents, the same elements we found on countless surface tests of precipitation from all over the globe. Governments all over the globe and the entire climate science community are telling the population urgently that climate engineering operations, solar radiation management operations need to be immediately deployed to try to mitigate the warming of our planet, to try to preserve what's left of its life support systems. And yet when the public, those that are awake, try to bring to the attention of academia and elected officials that we see climate engineering already being conducted in our skies all over the globe. It's already been deployed. Lab tests prove it. Film footage proves it. Documents prove it. And yet we have the continued denial from the climate science community and official agencies telling us that we're not really seeing what we're seeing in the skies. They tell us if climate engineering were deployed, it would look exactly like what we're seeing in our skies. But then again, they tell us that we're not really seeing what we are actually seeing. The paradox is the more the climate engineers spray the planet, destroy the ozone layer, disrupt the hydrological cycle, and increase the overall warming of the planet, the more they feel they have to ramp these programs up to try to mitigate some of the damage that these programs have done in the first place. That is the true definition of insanity.
As a society, we are like a freight train heading for a broken bridge that is just a few years away from us. And I think people don't understand the exponential increase of toxicity in the environment.
These operations should be considered the most insane endeavor ever deployed by the human race. These operations are systematically derailing all of Earth's life support systems in the attempt to blot out the sun. The myopic, short-term objective of trying to cool the planet while worsening the overall warming. The climate engineers, if these operations are allowed to continue, are pounding the nails into our collective coffins.
From a scientific perspective, and what we know about nanomaterials and their effect on human health and the environment, this is a serious problem. And it really does warrant further scientific investigation.
We need the answers to get to the bottom of this national security problem.
If populations around the globe find out what has been done to them by their governments without their knowledge or their consent, there will be a shockwave around the globe that cannot be contained by the criminal governments that have now taken control of our planet and civilizations all over the world.
Just bringing transparency will shift so many things that it will make it extremely difficult, because you cannot manage an entire planet with overt force, only with covert force. If we bring transparency to who it is in the covert force, it shifts everything.
Look at your own health and you know what is going on. And if you love your children, join us in fighting what we need to fight. This is a just fight, it's the right fight, it's the right cause.
And if the climate engineering operations, which are derailing Earth's life support systems, are not immediately exposed and halted, all other challenges for the human race become moot, because the planet will no longer support life. We are in completely uncharted territory.
Let me stop it there because it gets very interesting, you know. So much proof of the wicked that the people that are in power today, you know. It reminds me of that scripture of Job chapter 9 verse 24, that the earth is given to the hands of the wicked. I want to go to Psalm chapter 11, verse 5. Yahweh tries the righteous, but the wicked and him that loves violence, his soul he hates. And you can see that the wicked who are in charge today, they hate the earth, they hate God's people, they even hate God and his son Yahweh Shai. Right? I mean, to do this kind of level of poison, that they even are hurting their own kind, that's some wicked shit. Okay? I'm going to go to verse 6. Upon the wicked he shall rain sneer, fire and brimstone, and a horrible tempest. This shall be the portion of their cup. That's right. Actually, they're going to drink the whole cup because of their wickedness. Right? You got to understand, you so-called Negros, Latinos, Negros, and speckled birds. Edomites were not given the blessing to get redemption, forgiveness, mercy, salvation. See? This was only given to the so-called Negros, Latinos, Negros, and speckled birds. It's an inheritance. Okay? We're going to be living with our big brother, Yahweh Shai. Right? And he's going to be protecting us not only in spirit, but also in reality when we get the new bodies. Okay? I want to go to Proverbs chapter 6. Verse 16. These 6 things do Yahweh hate. Yea, 7 are an abomination unto him. A proud look, a lying tongue, and hands that shed innocent blood. How you like that? Don't we live in a world where the people in power are always having war and taking people's lives away around the world, even children's, in wickedness? Right? Let's go to Psalm 101. Give me a minute. Psalm 101. Let's go with verse 5. Whoso privately slays his neighbor, him will I cut off. Him that has an high look, a proud heart, a proud mind, will not I suffer? Yeah. And the heathens, they treat us like slaves. Right? They just want to upgrade their program. Right? Even to their own kind. That is wicked. Verse 8, I will eagerly destroy all the wicked of the land, that I may cut off all wicked doers from the city and from Yahweh. Yeah. I believe that's called clean house. Okay? Let's go to Psalm 102, verse 2. Hide not thy face from me in the days when I am in trouble. Incline thy ear unto me in the days when I call. Answer me speedily. Yeah. Because if the Edomites have this technology that they are manipulating the weather, what else can they do? Right? Especially what they spray, what he called it, nano? Right? Not only to us, but to the food, to the water, to the land. That is crazy, man. Verse 3, for my days are consumed like smoke, and my bones are burned as a heat. Verse 4, my heart, my mind is smitten, and wither like grass, so that I forget to eat my bread. And what is the verse talking about? The words of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, the Bible. Right? It's so important. The same way you drink water, you take a shower, and you eat every day, we got to do our best to always read a page or two so that we can also be protected and that Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai find mercy in us. Right? Have mercy in us. Slakia. Isaiah chapter 48, verse 22. There is no peace, said Yahweh, unto the wicked. I can see why. Because they're so wicked. They're so destructive. Right? And yet so deceiving. Psalm chapter 7, verse 11. Yahweh judges the righteous, and Yahweh is angry with the wicked every day. That's right. He keeps a record of their wickedness. Verse 12. If he turns not, he will whet his sword. He has bent his bow and made it ready. Verse 13. He has also prepared for him the instrument of death. Ain't that the truth? He ordained his arrows against the prosecutors. Yeah, the wicked ones. You know? They don't stop day and night. They just keep on doing wickedness. Verse 15. He made a pit and digged it, and has fallen into the dish which he made. Yeah, what they made for us to entrap us is going to go undone. Okay? Because they cannot, they cannot comprehend. They don't want to comprehend the Edomites. That is Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai that controls all things from the beginning of time, all the way to the present. I'm going to leave it with Psalm chapter 5. I'm going to start with verse 4. Salakia. Give me a minute. My page, verse. Okay, here goes. Verse 4. For thou art not a God that has pleasure in wickedness, neither shall evil dwell with thee. Yeah. Right now we have evilness all over the world. But when Yahweh sends his son, our King, King of Kings, Lord of Lords, our big brother, 10 foot tall, afro dark skin, to come back to earth and move furniture and put his kingdom, it's game over. Verse 5. Thy footage shall not stand in thy sight. Thou hatest all workers of iniquity. Verse 6. Thou shalt destroy them that speak leasing. Yahweh will abhor the blood of the deceitful man. Yeah. Blood for blood, baby. You took blood from our people and our children. Well, when Yahushua comes back, he's going to also want to take blood as for revenge. That's only right. Okay? I hope that this was edifying, and with that I'll say Shalom.